Hello there, Spud here, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Roundup. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about Seattle Surge defeating the Ravens, OpTic losing to the Legion, and if Carolina messed up their chances of reaching champs due to that shock defeat to LAG. If you are new, please drop a subscription to the channel, it is really appreciated, and drop a like. I would really appreciate that. Has Abuzah got into the Rookie of the Year hunt? Some people think he should be Rookie of the Year due to Gwyn's fall off. I'll also be having a look at the standings and I'll say who I think will be making champs. We're going to go through this week's matches and also we're going to do predictions for next week. So, let's just get straight into it because there's a lot of Call of Duty to talk about this week. So if we start here, this was a huge shock. Seattle Surge beating the Ultra. And it was a reverse sweep as well from the Seattle Surge. They win 3-2. Abuzah drops a 1.16, the only player to go positive on his team. Whereas they got outslayed by Ultra. But a lot of that was predominantly on map 1, which obviously the Ultra won, but it was still quite close. Abuzah carried Seattle Surge to get to a map 4, and then he also pretty much carried them to a map 5, and then he laid it off a little bit, which is fair enough. He can sit back, relax, and watch O4 and Hugh, the sub duo, do their stuff. But Seattle won 6 rounds of search in a row on that high rise, which is just really impressive from them. They deserved the win overall. And I think it's just something that they have to work on. Toronto, I think they're still a bit checked out because of what happened at Major 3 against OpTic. Because obviously these are the first qualifiers since then. Then we've got Minnesota Rocker beating the Breach in a round 11 map 5. They bring in Major Maniac to sort out the S&D factor. First of all, they actually did win an S&D, but they haven't sorted it out, and they're now really bad at hardpoint. Because Boston Breach are a good hardpoint team, and I thought that would stay the same. So I had Breach winning this series before it started. Because realistically, if Breach take any points out of 7th to 11th now, it could have a huge implication on champs. Now, they still play Carolina, and I don't know who else to play. They're terrible, though. Beans is good. Snoopy's alright. Priester, I can't believe he was a world champion last year. Major Maniac comes in terrible. First map, they slayed similar to Rocker, but Rocker just were better on actually getting on the objective. The search was really good though from Boston, and people thought, if it goes to a map 5, they'll win. And they're always a good control team. They take the control, then they get annihilated on 6-star, and then it's like, here we go, map 5. Boston are gonna do what they do best, and they did. Round 11, and I really wanted to see Boston win a series, but they just couldn't do it. Honestly, though, Friday's matches were really good. This one, though, was a massive pain, because I really want Ravens to make champs, and you cannot lose to LAG the way they did. They were horrendous at search and destroy. Gwyn drops a 0.6. What has happened to him? He dropped a 0.39 and they still won the map because Clayster went double positive. The search, they were horrendous, and Rio's normally a bread and butter for the Ravens. The control, they were decent. The Vista was close, but again, Gwyn really struggling. The AR's actually doing a good job. And then, the Fame had a really good series altogether, and that's why he got the MVP. This for me was a must-win for Ravens if they wanted to make champs, because then they'd still be on 130 points, which is around where everyone else is. I think now they have to win, because obviously they lost their other series, which we'll go into. They've got FaZe next week. I don't think they've got a chance. They still have to play OpTic, I think, in these last 4 games after that, and then they've got 3 that are winnable. However, one of them is against the Thieves, so maybe they've got 2 that are winnable. If they don't get at least 2 wins, they've got no chance. For me, I think if they get 2 wins, they have to get top 6 at the major. I think they have to get top 6 at the major regardless now, which I think these guys can do depending on who they get in their matches. But I mean, they had to beat LAG, man. Ridiculous. So really good games on Friday. And then we move to Saturday and we get another game 5. And this time it's the Thieves versus the Gorillas. But maybe it just shows how bad the Ravens were at Search because the Thieves destroyed them on Search. Realistically, though, map 1 should have went the way of the Gorillas, but they just messed it up at the end. I think Joe Deceives was like 4-15 or something at one point. Good Rio search out of the Thieves. To be fair, I was surprised that they only probably allowed the Rio search to go through because of the fact they beat Carolina, the Gorillas, yesterday. The day before this, sorry. I'm obviously recording this on Monday. They played them on Friday. Control was quite close, but Thieves struggle at control still, to be honest. And then the Gorillas were really, really strong on that Rio, but then it all just was a waste of time. They lose that. They would have been. I mean, they're still in contention for champs now. Nobody had them in the contention because everyone thought Ravens would beat them. They'd stay on 110 points, but now they're on 120. They're on the same as Ravens. They're on the same as Legion. You know, they're only 10 off Rocker, 10 off Miami. And then we start to get some 3-0s. So, Toronto Ultra versus Vegas. Vegas weren't even that bad. It was close, and you obviously saw, one of the talking points of the games this week is Las Vegas Legion. And then we had 2 more matches on the Saturday. So the one after that was Miami versus OpTic. Obviously, Purge coming in. We found out the comms were English. We were disappointed. Real, though, really poor from Real. He's normally their best player. Pred always plays well against Miami ever since Vickle threw the 3-0 on online qualifiers, stage 1. Invasion, high control was dominant. High rise S&D was dominant. The sub base wasn't dominant. And obviously OpTic before this were 10-0, now 11-0. And obviously I'll mention briefly after what it is now. But like, I was surprised that sub base was allowed to be played, especially with Vegas playing with a sub. Obviously, the reason they were playing with a sub was for personal reasons for Vickle. However, a lot of people on the COD community actually think he was at London to watch the Champions League final because he's a Real Madrid fan. But we'll never know. Ravens. I actually thought the Ravens were going to do it. And now, if they losing to LAG is unacceptable if they wanted to make champs. However, if they beat New York, I genuinely think it wouldn't have been as bad. Karachi was pretty dominant. I mean, Hydra, double positive. Arguably the best player in the game right now. But then 6-0. Like, where was this performance from Ravens against LAG? Now, New York have only played Rio Search twice, and it was both against the Ravens, and the both times they lost. It is normally an auto veto for them, but they're obviously trying to test it out. There's got to be a reason as to why they're not good at it. Maybe they just don't have the reps. It was a pretty close control. It was a masterclass out of TJ Halley, 40 kills, including a clutch right at the end, because New York... Ravens should have won it comfortably, and then New York got a chance to win it, but thankfully they had TJ Halley there. The Vista was a slammage. And then it went to this search, and I'm thinking, I really want the Ravens to get these 10 CDL points. But they didn't. Pretty comfortable out of New York on that search. And, I mean, the CDL points don't do anything for New York. They don't do anything for Boston or the top 4. It all depends on, like, 5th to 11th, these points. But they don't get them. Then we've got Seattle versus Rocker, which I thought would be quite a close one in the search, which it was. But I thought that the other respawns it would be pretty comfortable for Seattle, and I was right. You know, you can see here, all green, all red. Every single player played well. I don't think you can really single out one player. and everyone was pretty poor. I mean, accuracy people have been saying should be removed from the league. Like, he needs to go, he's just not good enough anymore. It's kind of proven it, but I don't think Rocker are going to make a change. And for me, when I talk about who's going to make champs, in my opinion, because there's only 3 more weeks of online qualifiers now. This is a 4-week split, which is good. It means loads of games. It means you play 2 or 1 a week. Most of the time you'll play 2. But Rocker were really poor. Boston versus Thieves. I thought we might see at least a 4th map, but we don't. Major Maniac comes in, drops a 0.6. Oh dear. Dan Ghosty does what he does best. I'm interested to see what happens with Dan Ghosty when we do Rostermania stuff next year on like rumours and intel that we obviously see on Twitter. I am interested to see what people say about Ghosty, because I could see potentially you might see a Toronto or a New York interested in him. I don't think FaZe or OpTic would be changing their rosters. Unless FaZe flop at champs, but Draza's not the issue. So I don't think they would. But yeah, I mean, Beans was horrendous in that Search and Destroy. But it's not even the fact that they can't win the Search, it's the fact that they lose so many advantage rounds where they have the advantage. They planted the bomb at B, right? And then they all run off except one player, and then they're all charging this one player, and then the advantage, they've lost the control of the area as well. It's ridiculous, to be honest. They need to fire their S&D coach. They need a full rebuild next year. I'd even change the logo if I was the Breach. Now the last 2 games are obviously we've got a clip for each one. This was a banging series, and this is probably the best series I've seen New York play against FaZe all year. It's probably Kismet's best performance against a top team, I think, all year as well. Here's the scores on the doors. Obviously, FaZe took it 3-2. Very, very close, though. Like, is that probably the closest 5-game series in terms of hardpoint points being close? 3 rounds in the Search. 1 round in the Control. But yeah, really impressed by Kismet. Obviously, if New York won, he would have got the MVP, but it goes to Draza. Really solid performance out of Draza, of course. I just want to show the end of the Control, because it was quite interesting, I thought, the Control. So I'm just going to move the webcam here for just so you can see the kills for FaZe. Obviously, Draza did get the kill record in the Control and still lost the map.
This guy's now on the flank. Is he going to be able to shut this down? Big kills coming in, but it is secured. Time on the board now for FaZe, but the live's not looking hot.
And I think if I'm Hydra, I mean, minute 30, maybe you don't want to call in the cruise missile just yet because you got the spawn trap going, but he does have it in the back pocket, and it could be devastating depending on the timing. But you've cleared out Junkyard, Atlanta FaZe, all 4 players flooding towards this B zone, and maybe some New York Subliners players could be out of position, except for it's Hydra killing you with their cruise. 2 players made it out towards the B zone, but they can't capture this just yet. By the way, 44 kills for Draza.
Are you kidding me? YouTube ads. Too many of them, man.
Incredible start line, and he's got time to find more, make it number 45. He's going to have to continue to pop off, though, because the side of FaZe do not have the lives right now, 13-6. But they do have time. Subliners set up so well. This final push, it may well be it now. New record broken. The old one was on Sib on the other side of things, but that squad seemed to be doing the right side of things at the moment. Draza will fall. He will find himself back into this one. Selly and Abuzah combining. It took to the very end for them to find a way through in the previous attacking round. Is it going to happen this time as well? 3 lives.
And this is it. Draza. Final square up, back of the map. All 4 Subliners players here. Line up, Sky's there to drop you. Abuzah, next player in line, slides out. Can't get it done. Simp, last man standing. Sib says, congrats on your kill record. Hold that L. Round 5, Subliners, get it done.
So, yeah, obviously, it was closer than they would have liked. for New York there, but they managed to clutch it up. And at that point, I wasn't too sure who was going to win. I still had a feeling that FaZe would win. But the hard point was so close, but New York threw it. Unfortunately for them. Their SMG duo was fantastic, though, in this series. And I think that's got a lot of positive on it, because that's really positive for FaZe. For New York. Because it's kind of just been Hydra, whereas Kismet last year was so good. Yes, this one's not exciting to talk about. Vegas beat OpTic. Wow, it was a shock. I thought even at 2-1 to Vegas, I thought OpTic would win. I'm not really sure what happened here with all of them, to be honest, but especially Shotzi. You know, he was 4-17 at one point on the hard point. Subbase 11-0, and they got absolutely slammed. Now, you know, credit where it's due to Vegas. I think all 4 of the players played really well, especially these 3, especially Johnny and Gio. But I just don't really know what happened with OpTic here. Destroyed in map 1, round 11 on the 6-star. They should have won the high rise because they've said in the patch that they got rid of the propane, so exploding. OpTic were going to win the control. They had 3 people on A, and then there's a team kill from the grenade from the propane, and they probably would have won that map. And then, you know, the 1 map 4, so it could have been done. And then Vegas were really good, and it all came down because in round 2, Nero got a 1v3 clutch, and that probably was what sparked them into winning the series. But if that hadn't happened in the control, I think OpTic would have won. I don't think there's much to worry about. It was just really sloppy from OpTic. You know, Ultra lost to Surge, then they won the next match. There's not really like a massive issue for these teams. And they also don't have the 7-0 curse, which every team that's had 7-0 in the online qualifiers hasn't won the event. So, yeah, I've got a clip though to show just how strong the Vegas Legion actually were on this subbase. It was really, really impressive, to be honest. And I can see teams vetoing subbase against the Legion now. Maybe that's why Miami opted to play OpTic on the subbase as well, because they thought they might have cracked down their issues after watching VOD. Yeah.
Time and challengers. Now you've got the support of both Nero, Geo, and Attach all working. It's a team wipe that comes through. Vegas currently find themselves on a huge team streak, and with it, the lead grows back to about 100 points.
And now they're already winning a rotation over towards next. They know exactly where all of OpTic Texas are trying to execute their play from. Nero from up top drops down low, finds that kill onto Kenny. And now Shotzi, he's trying to hit a water up, but everyone is dropping around him. Vegas Legion, enough from us. Let's go to a listen. I'm curious to see how the hell they are sounding.
Yeah, I'm getting away from the top. Is anyone tunnel?
Okay.
Alright, I'll look tunnel. I have tunnel. Yeah, but you have tunnel. Yo,
I think you're long. Let's get shit.
I'm on the open.
I think you're long.
Yo,
I hear long. I hear long.
What do I have all tunnel? I have all tunnel.
I don't have your long. Yo, DK, you want up the streak. You want up the streak.
Yo, P5, came out weak. Shot in front already.
I'm weak. Turn to go time.
I'm pushed up right, guys. I'm pushed up right.
One shot closet. You went long.
It's Kenny. I've already. He's on time. I'm cutting the server. Two on time, I think. Top server, Shotzi. Top. Charlie. All right, yo, one's on time, one's green.
That's
top server. One's green. Oh, he's on the green door. Oh, top server.
One shot top server.
20 mind you.
Stay alive, DK. Yeah.
Go bottom.
Go 15.
Bottom on me, Shotzi. I'm pushing closet. You have to jump to me. There's two. Print on time. You're good. Just make sure we have the spawn. Left hand time. We're leaving for 1.
I just want to point out, like, this was across the whole map. You know, every kill that OpTic got, Vegas got 2 or 3. The feed was a lot of white killing green across the whole map. I mean, like, you know, these, even like 10 and 17's not horrendous, but you can't obviously put all of the blame on Shotzi for losing the map because nobody was really firing their guns on the OpTic side. Anyway, but yeah, it was really poor from OpTic.
I'm still missing there. He's playing back server. He's playing back server, guys.
In the back, Shotzi, dead.
Tunnel and soccer.
Friend. Nothing. I got one shot. Dead.
Like, that's crazy that he wins that fight. That's really good from Nero. Around this point, though, when they got the 19 seconds, I thought, right, if they're going to be just under 50 behind, we know how OpTic are on this map. It's bread and butter. I just thought if they break P4 quickly, they'll win the map, but they just couldn't do it. And ultimately Vegas win, and it was deserved for them. I wanted to point this out. So after Vegas won, Johnny started doing the Fortnite Take the L dance, which got a few people thinking it's an online qualifier. Why are you doing that? People are just, yeah, exactly as Tactical Rab said. Although I fear Pred may be saving this one in the drafts, because obviously after Vickle did that, Pred did the same thing at Major 1 when they beat them 3-0. So if Vegas play OpTic at the Major, we might see something like that again. Bruce tweeted, "Motherfuckers win one online match and don't know how to act." Johnny then responded with that, just saying like it was just because Pred was talking to him before, talking trash before the game or something. But yeah, if OpTic, I don't think they should really be worried. Just regain really, and I don't think there's going to be I don't think there'll really be like a significant issue personally. We'll now do our predictions for the matches coming up. Have we got 11 again? Let me just check. We got 10. That's still quite good. Seattle versus New York will actually be a grueler, but I'm going to go 3-1 New York. This match is huge for who gets to champs potentially. Minnesota Rocker versus Miami. I'm not sure if Vickle's going to be playing. Both terrible, really. No, I'll go Miami, but only if Vickle's there. I'm not sure if what'll be happening. I think he will be playing though, because it was only mentioned that he'd miss OpTic's match. FaZe versus Carolina. I really want Ravens to make champs, but FaZe are going to win 3-0. Hopefully FaZe can just do what OpTic did and just forget to shoot their guns. Then Saturday, I didn't realise Ravens actually played twice. Oh god, they're going to be on 4, aren't they? Breach versus Seattle, 3-0 to Seattle. New York versus Vegas, I think 3-1 to New York. Thieves versus Ravens, I'm not sure. Are these what's the history? We've got history between these two teams. This can't be the only time they've played. This is the most recent time they played, and it was 3-2 to the Thieves. I don't know. I really don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a bit of Ravens bias here in the hope they can get something. Because this is a must-win. After FaZe, and once they've played OpTic, the other 3 games are must-win. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Ravens. I just have this feeling that Gwyn's just going to find his magic sparkle again, and they're going to win. Miami versus LAG is huge. Oh, yeah, no, sorry, it's because that'll be UK time. Miami LAG, again, this is quite a close one, but I'll go 3-1 Miami. Obviously, because I want Ravens to get into champs, I don't really know what I'd want from that match. I think probably you'd still want Miami to win because I think they've got more chance of getting top 12 at LAN. I don't really know. And then FaZe versus LAG, FaZe 3-0. Toronto versus Miami, 3-0. OpTic versus Minnesota, 3-0. So Sunday's games are crap. Saturday's, meh. There's a couple of okay ones. Friday, like that's the best match. So the best match of the entire week is on the Friday, the first match, Seattle, New York. What have we got the week after? Obviously, I won't do predictions. That's a massive match. Holy. Oh my god, Boston, right. That Boston have to win that one. Surely the winner match. They can't go 2 majors without winning. Oh, that's a nice one to finish off the week. Right. Anyway, enough about that. These are the current CDL standings provided by CDL Intel. So as you can see now, Ravens have gone down 2. Rocker. See, I think Rocker are still worse than Ravens. It's right. Seattle Surge are in champs, in my opinion, and LA Thieves are in champs. I don't think these two teams won't make champs. I think it's basically the other two spots, 7 and 8. It's between the 5 teams, not including Breach. If you ask me who I think's gonna get it, I actually don't. You know what? Ravens still have a chance, but obviously that phase series is shit for them, really. It all comes down to if if Seattle Surge and Thieves don't get top 6 at LAN, which other two teams get top 6 at LAN will make champs. I think. So if Ravens get 2 online wins and a top 6 at LAN, that's 165. I think that would be 165 would be enough. I think 160 will be the threshold. We'll just have to see, but I really want to see Closer at champs because he did the bloody analyst desk with Puckett, Nameless, and Alleycat last year. We want to see him on the main stage. My prediction currently, I mean, the people I wanted was Seattle, LA Thieves, Miami Ravens. Who do I think will get in now is probably Seattle, Thieves, Vegas Legion, and Miami. I don't know. I think Legion might do it. I think it's between, honestly, Miami, Minnesota Rocker, Ravens, and LAG for that last spot. And whoever comes 8th has to play. I mean, realistically, if it was Seattle versus New York at the LAN, that could be okay. The rest of them though, they're just gonna go straight down to losers bracket. But I've still got faith in the Ravens, even though they lost to LAG. I've got to have some sort of faith in them. If they beat Thieves, they'll lose to FaZe, I understand that. If they beat LA Thieves, I think they'll do it. If they lose to LA Thieves, I don't think they'll make champs because they'll only have their other games after that will be OpTic, which they'll lose, Miami, which is massive. If they beat Miami, that would be huge, and then Boston, which is a free win. But I thought LAG was a free win, but clearly not. Anyway, we'll see. And I want to go on about Abuzah. Obviously, people saying he should be Rookie of the Year. He said himself he doesn't care about individual awards. He just wants to win, which is fair enough. I still think Gwyn. I think this is a massive overreaction about Gwyn falling off. It was in the Major 3 qualifiers when he got the kill record against New York. Yeah, he didn't perform at the LAN really, and he's not performed against LAG and against New York. But it basically comes down to whoever does well at this Major 4. If Seattle Surge get top 6, Abuzah's getting Rookie of the Year. If Ravens make champs and get a top 6 at LAN, I think Gwyn will still get it. Obviously last year it was predominantly scrap because there wasn't as many rookies as this year. And then obviously Ghosty had a chance, outside chance, but came second at 2 events. If he'd won both events, I think he could have done it. But we'll have to see. Let me know who you think Rookie of the Year is currently. Let me know if you think Ravens make champs. And that is actually going to be the end of this episode of the Roundup. I hope you have enjoyed. Obviously, I enjoyed these as always. And hopefully next week's matches will be as good. I don't think they will be, to be honest, but you just never know. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It is really appreciated. This will probably be out tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Yeah, it'll probably be tomorrow, this one. Also, actually, before I do go, I didn't watch any of it, but I saw there was a huge comeback at IAM Dallas in CS with G2 beating Vitality. I might talk about that next week when I've actually had a chance to watch it because I heard it was really good. So that'll probably be feature a section in next week's episode. I thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and yeah, see you next time. Bye for now.